Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 854 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I'm joined today by two of the greatest geeks you will ever meet who are willing to pretend like they're in low orbit for a few minutes every day, or a couple times a week. Chris DeBona.
Hi.
Rob Roseboom.
Hola.
Gentlemen, it has been a full week since we've gathered.
Mm-hmm. I believe you.
Many things have happened in the passing of time. How are we?
Have you tracked yourself this last week? And can you tell us why it's been a week and not 4 days?
Oh, didn't we? We skipped Tuesday.
I know. What, 3 days?
Well, in that intervening time, there's been a very entertaining story about how we talked last time about an AirTag mailing story, but this one threw AirTags in a recycling bin and proved that their recycling is going to a landfill, which is, of course, it is.
Yeah, I mean, isn't this pretty common knowledge now? This has been an issue for at least a decade.
Yeah. Oops.
There's no money in recycling anymore. Even the Chinese don't want our old steel anymore. No one wants any of that stuff.
Gross.
Well, I mean, I mean, here's the thing: what they're saying is no. We'll get to a lot of this, but the factory's not open yet, so we're just going to store it till then.
We'll store it in this landfill.
Yep,
I mean, okay. I mean, that's not a terrible answer, is it? You know,
I guess it depends on if you live next door.
I admit, I have that sort of reflex of like, did you think they would be able to recycle the AirTag? You know, it's like, aren't you part of the problem? But
I don't think the AirTag is the problem, Chris.
I know
it's the size of like 3/4.
Yeah, but they're going to have to pick it out of the waste stream and not recycle it, because maybe they could recycle the plastic surrounding it, but everything inside it's got to.
But I think the point is that that's not what's happening.
I know. I'm just saying, I'm okay with them. Factories are a bitch to set up sometimes. I get it.
You are a wide-eyed optimist, sir.
I am.
I'm excited for you.
After my morning meal, Jesus.
You gotta find the happy glow.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I gotta tell you, man, there ain't a lot of happy glow in the world. I mean, more Americans are believing the misinformation on the COVID-19 vaccines. So
that's
really
fine. Yeah. Nobody.
The specific misinformation they're talking about in here is whether or not it's safer to get the shot or to actually have COVID.
I gotta tell you, I had a version of this strain, I don't know, a year ago or whatever, and it sucked. Get the shot, you idiot. I mean, or die and guess, maybe it'll be 1 in 6 next year, if enough of them don't get the shot. Sorry, it's a terrible thing to say.
I mean, measles is very rarely fatal to adults.
Right.
So, I mean, but sometimes that measles shot can make you feel sick. So I don't know, maybe it's just safer we stop getting measles shots too.
Yeah, measles will be fine. We shouldn't say that because we're going to get flagged by the algorithm for spreading misinformation.
Yeah, and then RFK Jr. will come out of nowhere with some whale head on top of his car.
I mean, maybe he'll support
about
the podcast.
vaccinations.
Yeah,
maybe he'll sponsor the podcast.
That'd be great.
Get some views. I think that if we got views, that probably would be more bad for us than good, because I think at some point we're gonna say something that's gonna get us in trouble. It's probably better that nobody listens.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know about that, but I mean, our ones of listeners,
our dozens.
Yeah.
No way, man. There's definitely a podcast listener, because Mike emailed me like 2 weeks ago to tell me that our levels were too low on the podcast. So I had to go. Yeah, I had to go and adjust.
You're the listener, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. I had to adjust.
My posture is terrible. What is going on?
You're a hot mess today, dude. You're like coughing all over the place. Yeah,
Magnum's sorry. I'll mute. And
Magnum's listening too. Yeah. So, yeah, I had COVID, man. I would take the shot. I've had the shot twice. I actually keep meaning to schedule the appointment to get out and get it now. You can just get it at the regular doctor now, right? You don't have to like go through a whole special thing anymore.
You can go to the pharmacy. You can go anywhere. Yeah.
Because the last
your local Safeway or what's your grocery store out there?
The first rounds out here, we got at the Baptist church. So,
nice.
Yeah.
I got my first 2 at the University of Michigan football arena. They set up like in the suites on the top floor. They had a huge space for it. It was actually kind of cool. I'd never been up there. And like waiting in line, looking down at the big old football field. It was actually kind of cool. All right, let's see. Well, we got a story about a kid getting handcuffed for a meme. That's cool.
Yeah, it's just, that one is so stupid.
Yeah.
The kid.
How the heck did this happen?
I can't remember the exact language, but
my main goal is to blow up.
And the teacher, this is like when I first started working for you guys that summer after the bar, and I tried cashing my check from OSDN, and the lady at the bank was like, called the manager because she was like, that sounds a lot like Osama bin Laden. I'm not kidding.
Wait, what?
OSDN, the open source developer network.
The Osama
bin Laden.
Yeah.
Destruction network.
Yeah.
Demolition network. Yeah.
I'm giving him a couple grand to buy an anti-aircraft cannon.
You're being paid by Osama bin Laden for your valuable comment moderating skills.
Yep.
Yeah.
You created ISIS.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is that.
Really? So what did the manager say? He's like, what are you talking about? Just Margaret, will you stop your shit, please?
To be fair, the manager seemed as sort of perplexed about it as I was.
Yeah.
And the lady who called him over was like, well, I'm just trying to be careful.
It's the thing, though. If you see something, say something. Yeah. That's all.
What is this nonsense? People are over the top, man.
Oh, yeah. We live in a dark world.
So that kid, basically, his meme was something like, I don't care about this. I just want to blow up.
Right. Yeah. But
and his teacher is like, oh, my God, that means explosives.
Which is so
I'm
sad.
calling the police.
Well, when she was in the middle of changing the kitty litter, I'm sure that.
Right. Exactly.
There's so many suckers.
When she was patrolling the, cat bathrooms.
I know what it was. She walked in on the ozone treatment to get rid of the bed bugs in high school.
Yeah, the bed bugs in the Chromebooks.
Yeah. That's what happened. Bed bugs. That's so gross.
I mean, this has to show up, though, in all kinds of like electronics that are in homes.
Sure.
If you're selling them. I mean, bed bugs go everywhere.
Yeah. They're so gross, dude.
They whenever
I guess
you
they
see
like warm places where you sleep, like laptops, Yeah.
Whenever you see things for sale that's like no smoking home, no pet home or whatever, but maybe they should have had no bed bugs.
No bed bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like the customer states mechanics channels. Without fail, there's that one car that's just covered in fucking roaches and shit, and I'm like, nope, I'm out.
Hard pass.
Nope. Skip.
Skip. The is my blue your blue, Chris? Go ahead and play that for us. We're gonna find out if your blue is my blue. I played it. I'll tell you what my number is. It's gonna ask you, is this blue or green? And then it triangulates what percentage of blue versus green you think is blue versus green. It's like red versus blue, but with color theory, I guess.
It's more of a teal.
Oh wow, your boundary is out. Not you're green.
No, I have terrible color. Like if they had, is my purple, like or pink? I'm terrible at pink and purple. I'm not colorblind. I just.
Hey Rob,
I just disagree.
Play it on your end if you can, and see what the you
can't.
You can just do it with the link on the Reddit, or you don't have a webpage. I was 85%, and Chris was 92%. For blue versus green. So we both were turquoise.
There, I'm now.
Well, now you cheated.
No, I just played again. You can train your eye.
I played again and cared this time.
Yeah, I read it.
It's just they clearly are showing a lot of teals.
Yeah.
And I like to Stargate, so teal.
There you go.
So,
There you go. I thought that I was just a little off because, it told me that I think turquoise is blue, which I do. So that's fine. All right. We've got a story. Well, there's a couple of parts to this story. This is the Brazil VPN story and jitter. And I don't know how far into this one we want to go because it's a pretty deep rabbit hole, but Brazil banned Twitter. And then there's like a whole
and they're going after their own users, their own citizens who might use it.
Yeah, they're hunting down VPN users, and they're fining Twitter. And this all started because Twitter, I guess, or jitter wasn't properly like enforcing social like policies. I didn't.
They were probably posting a picture of the president's feed or some nonsense like that. Yeah, I mean, and yeah.
Well, so
dumb.
Well, and the story got a little weird.
Every angle is dumb. You know,
there was
it's like a dumb fractal. You know, the more you zoom in, the more dumb it is.
Infinite dumb.
It's infinite dumb.
The story had a bunch of other weird bits about how like apparently Elon had like said that he was going to provide Starlink to schools, and then turns out he never did, which is a real shock.
Super shock. Yeah.
Shocking that he never mailed thousands of free Starlink units to kids. Shocking.
He doesn't give anything to anyone for free. You know that.
Well, I mean, he gave some really nice tweets to that diver guy that had that little drone. He was so complimentary, right? No harm came from that.
Yeah. No harm came from that.
Hey, did you know space is haunted?
Honestly, it's kind of a spooky noise.
It is a spooky noise.
Let me see if I can find the noise. Oh, it's right here.
It's in the article. This is the Starliner docked to the International Space Station. And there's like this whole thing about how it's making noise, guys.
Here we go. Are you ready for it? Can you hear this when I hit play?
We don't see it. I don't know if we'll hear it.
Okay.
It's the CMT serial. What's going on? Here we go.
Can you hear it?
Yeah. It does sound like sonar, kind of, right?
Like sonar pings.
It's especially weird because, you know, like in space, they can't hear you scream. So you can't be that scared of it. You just have to hold it, you know?
Sonar wouldn't be very effective in space, one would think.
Oh.
Well, radar would be, though.
Yeah. Different frequency.
I mean, I wonder what it is. That's a good question.
I just think that the guy left his iPod in there.
Yeah, probably.
Just
you know,
beat.
It's probably the sound
He's
of
like, oh, that's where my phone went. Like some guy who assembled the ship. Yeah.
The sound of hope leaving the capsule. I mean, maybe that's it. I mean, they have been up there a really long time, right?
I'm not saying that they're connected, but you know, The Crow was released to theaters when that sonar went off.
Yeah, maybe it's a Crow situation up there.
Yeah, I think it's a Crow situation where the spaceship loved the original and can't abide it being rebooted.
Yeah.
And so that's its keening sadness at the Brandon Lee's memory being defiled.
But a little off topic, but related. Have you seen all the hate about the Crow reboot? About
it's been wonderful. How the
story went? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, wonderful is the wrong word. It just sounds awful. Like, what were they thinking?
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
There's no law that says you have to remake everything.
No, you really don't.
Correct. And the actors involved are not terrible. No. It's like, how did their agents, this, you know what this smells like? It smells like the kind of movie that they made when they weren't famous. And then they held on to it for 10 years and then they release it now that they're famous.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And even though that's not the case, this isn't like Borderlands, right? Or it was actually filmed 10 years ago, you know?
Such a cult classic and people love the story. And they just went and changed all the important parts of who that character is for the reboot.
Oh, that sucks. You know,
and they added like a whole mind controls Satan guy to it who wasn't in the original.
In the new one, I guess his girlfriend is in hell now. He's not just like an avenging spirit. He is from hell and she is in hell, and it gets into just some weird areas. You know?
But that's like not how it ended, right? So
correct. Yeah.
So, am I going to have to watch this movie now? Because I don't want to.
No, you don't have to watch it. I'm not gonna unless it comes on free someplace.
I mean, it comes down to how committed you are to the to who you are.
Thanks.
You know?
Thanks for the reminder, Chris.
I just,
Yeah. No, it really makes
I should actually change this. Rob has too much patience for garbage might be the way to go.
No, I just think that I am very willing to say, like, so for me, a 3-star movie is something that is of the genre. It functions. It has something in it that's entertaining. I'm not saying it's a great movie. I'm just saying it functions as what it's intending to be. And
I think what's different now is that there's just so many options.
That's true.
That the ratings certainly have to get better. You have to put together a better piece of media because there's so many options now.
There's so much 3-star.
What is a good movie when we were teenagers is not a good movie anymore.
Well, that's true. And a lot of the movies that we watched when we were kids, if you are critical about them today, they're not.
I don't know. I mean, I think that you can do a reboot well.
For sure.
I think that's been proven. I mean, look at Battlestar in what, 2004, 2005?
Sure.
Solid reboot. Epic even.
Yep.
Way better than the original. So yeah. And then you have the prequels.
Yeah.
And then you have Picard seasons 1 and 2.
This is a great video. It cracked me up, Chris. You shared this to me. He's like, here's a 4-hour video. And I'm like, yeah, I already watched it.
So longtime listeners to the channel will know our unabiding love for Jenny Nicholson.
Yeah, right.
And her absurdly long reviews of pop culture moments that resonate with us. Then there's physics Jenny Nicholson, Angela Collier, who decided to do a 4-hour takedown of Picard, man. And she's so right.
She did a really good job.
So good.
She did a really good job.
And like her Shaw's the only character that I think is actually any good. I'm like, oh,
yeah, pretty much.
Thank you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I did quibble because I think that season 3 of Picard was totally watchable fun, but it's 3-star fun propped up by nostalgia. It's not good fun.
In some ways, season 3 couldn't have happened without 1 and 2 because season 3 was a way of recovering from 1 and 2. It doesn't change the fact that 1 and 2 were garbage.
Season 1 and 2 are awful garbage.
The love out of all of our hearts, And so season 3, yes, was fan service and
for sure, and
had its moments. But she's right, like the way that they ended that season, what garbage.
Yeah, that was the part that like. Her takedown of what is Starfleet like now?
After.
Like everybody who worked in Starfleet, either killed people or know people who were killed. Like a terrible thing happened. Like this, you don't recover from that societally. Like that's if that happened in our military and like 10% of all of our military members under the age of 25 went crazy and killed people, like that changes your world forever.
Mm-hmm.
And so her takedown on that is very funny and well written, and that's a great video. And if you got 4 hours to burn on a show, which was, in all fairness, a season of Picard was probably only like 7 hours total once you take off all the beginning,
all the garbage,
all the recap and 6 minute long
well, she goes into that too. She has the whole graph of actual minutes.
I do think seasons 1 and 2 of Picard might be the worst shows that I've watched.
Yeah,
like that I've made it all the way through. I'm
still bitter about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
it's almost as bad as Discovery. That's all.
Discovery,
but the thing about Discovery is you could say this is just a different show.
Yeah,
It's fine. Sure. You can completely ignore it and pretend it didn't never happened. And you know, kind of like most of Enterprise.
And when Discovery gets really bad, like it's, at least for my thinking, it's the COVID seasons. And like those shows just seemed so damaged by production, like how like characters are split off into separate rooms constantly, and like even when they're together, they're in their volume set or whatever, where they're all standing clearly socially distant spacings apart, and the framing is awful. Like I don't remember which season that is, 4 or 5. It's bad, just so embarrassing. Anyway, that video is great, worth a watch. Any PC can operate like a video game console. This came from Channel. This was from Matt. This is an interesting video, and it's worth watching.
Is this about Mister? What is this about?
No, this is. I mean, so this is basically, can you get really close to the iron on an x86 chip of the era and be as fast as a console of the era? And as a proof of concept, the guy basically ported, like, what is it, Sonic and Knuckles, one of the Sonic games from the Genesis to a PC and booted it off a floppy. Like it's interesting. He like hacked out like a subsystem from like Windows 98 or something. Like it's worth a watch if you're into that sort of thing.
Huh.
Wow. This sort of thing is my jam.
This is really neat.
Yeah, it's short too. It's 12 minutes long. It's worth a watch. It's just, we don't think about the PC as being of that era, especially as being a gaming thing, just because like it really wasn't. Like everything was a frame buffer and it was slow and it was 16 colors, had the terrible color palette. Like it was gaming on a PC wasn't really good, with a handful of exceptions, like in terms of action gaming anyway, for a few years after that. And then it was like, once DirectX and Windows became a thing, it was not such a big deal. But like up until like Quake, you know, like that era, like the latter half of the 90s, it was, you didn't get a lot of action stuff on a PC. It just wasn't really practical.
Well, you get side scrollers, you get
sure, and you get things like
Starflight, the best game ever.
Well, like Descent and Doom and the original side-scrolling, like what was it, Commander Keen, stuff like that. But a lot of that stuff's 16 color. It's jerky. It's just it's not what Sonic was. You know, Sonic on the Genesis was a sight to behold in 1992 or whatever. It was amazing. The next one on the list is just the
you know, we didn't actually talk about the Internet Archive losing in court, right?
No, we didn't. I don't think anybody.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
All right, let's go. What do you want to say about it? Because it fucking sucks.
Yeah, it really. You know, Brewster is a fire-breathing, you know, copyright attacker. He's really good at it. And the Internet Archive is a treasure, but the National Emergency Library was such a bad idea. It was like designed for him to screw it up. And, you know, if you paid any attention at all to the Books lawsuit against Google, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, this was never going to fly.
No.
And the courts were never going to agree. You know, it was 3 years, probably a couple $100 million in litigation around the Books lawsuit alone. And it kind of worked out in the end, but boy,
I really
he was never going to win this. I hate to say it. He was never going to win this.
Sure.
And everyone told him this. And now, so what I hope is that when they come to the damages phase, that they like a titular dollar or something, because this could shut down the archive. This could end the archive.
Yeah.
And
that's like, the part that, well, and maybe that was the goal.
Well, I mean, he exposed his jugular to the Books people, you know, the Authors Guild and the rest. it's just grim.
It's weird to me because there's a handful of things out there like the Internet Archive, the Wayback Machine, things that they maybe don't make the greatest of sense legally speaking, but they are so essential that like they should be made fair. That should be how it works. Like, I understand these are the internet is trying to adapt trying to adapt old world notions. We didn't have, like, right now, if you had a stack of newspapers from 1987, you can go back and look at them. You could go get a microfiche. Like, there's things that you can do about that. But like Anantech getting shut down, and yeah, they say they're going to archive their stories, but 5 years from now, that's going to be gone. And it all is going to contribute to this terrible amnesia where, you know, we're always at war with Eurasia. Like, nothing is real. Nothing has history anymore. And I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We're going to live it.
There's such a vital resource. We can't just let them go away.
This stuff is too important.
You know, and I have nothing but admiration for Brewster, but he pushed so far past the envelope. You know.
Sigh. Hey, the Navy chiefs conspiring to get themselves Warship Wi-Fi. That story actually kind of cracks me up. They put a Starlink on a battleship so that they could have uncensored porn, or I guess uncensored media, but like only the executives, like the chiefs on the boat, had access to the secret password.
Wow.
And then eventually they got busted, and a bunch of people, somebody got in a lot of trouble, but like everybody who had access probably should have been in trouble. And the Wi-Fi network was named Stinky. That's great.
That's really something.
Now, that said, there is absolutely a Wi-Fi network on my Wi-Fi, because I have a system that lets me have like 3 different Wi-Fi networks, right? And there's one that has no security on it whatsoever. And my kids just don't know that password. So I guess I'm just as bad as them.
So the way these things communicate is using adaptive antennas on that pad, right? There's actually like an array of, I think, 48 or 36 antennas, and they're all individually tuned to receive from the satellites. And I'm like, I can't imagine this is good for the radar cross section of the thing. You know, it's like, not so sure about that.
To say nothing of the morale problems. Obviously, this is a security thing. They were talking about this early in the Ukraine battle too. They were talking about how they could track Starlink receivers, and I worry about Rob, honestly, like every day, that when we go to war, the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to track down Rob's Starlink and they're going to bomb him. You're a vital national.
I worry about that too.
You're a national treasure.
I think is it Frontier, the internet provider in your area?
Not anymore.
Yeah, they got
Verizon just bought them for like $9 billion.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
they're rolling out fiber.
Verizon.
Yeah, I'm hoping fiber finally makes its way out here.
Well, let's not. Come on, that's crazy.
Well, dude, all of Grass Lake is fiber now.
Wow.
They laid fiber there.
And you're only like a mile away from there. You're close.
3 miles.
Be cheaper than Starlink and more reliable.
Yes, for sure.
I don't think my neighborhood will ever get fiber, but that's okay because I got gigabit speeds over copper, so I don't care.
You've got the Comcast or whatever cable company.
Yeah. I just wish that I had upstream, because I have good downstream, but not good upstream. Which
that was actually a problem when we first moved here, and why I finally pulled municipal fiber to the house. The upstream was like, the downstream was not bad.
Yeah, my downstream's fine. But the only time my upstream matters, is right now. And actually, my kids are at school, so my kids are at school right now, so it doesn't even matter. But like, sometimes there's 4 people doing video chats, and then I'm trying to live stream with you guys, and sigh. Hey, somebody in the channel, I think last week, linked the world's largest Benchy. This was from Ruby. which sent me down a bit of a rabbit hole with Emily the Engineer, because I think I've watched like 15 Emily the Engineer videos in the last week. She's like 3D printing William Osmond. Is that his name?
Okay. Sorry. I just had like audio issues with the Benchy video and all the rest. So there you go.
Yeah. Emily the Engineer.
You were saying Emily the Engineer. She's so fun.
I'd never seen.
This person is a very fun person.
I'd never seen any of her videos, and she is charming. Great. And she's William Osmond, but with all 3D printers.
No, she was at Open Sauce. She's really cool.
Yeah, that's an entertaining rabbit hole. I watched so many of her videos in the last week.
Did you watch the 3D printing a toilet?
Yep. That's great.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. But the Benchy video is very funny. The toilet video is great. And then she
motorizes it, right?
Yeah. I think at one point they installed a bidet. No, it's pretty funny. That's entertaining. That's worth it. Let
me find a picture of the Benchy. Here we go.
Thanks for that one, Ruby. The last three were the ones that we just linked. You guys just linked to me right before we pressed start, but the mushroom learns to crawl. I haven't seen this one yet. Is this you, Rob?
That one's more, the breakthrough really isn't that, mushrooms are sentient and wandering the earth. It's more like they figured out that mushrooms are super easy to grow. They make great neural networks to practice stuff on and learn on. So it's more a breakthrough on sort of what we could use to start building neural networks biologically. But they hooked it up to these walkers. One of them is like that legged thing. They made like a big truck out of it, and they used I think it's aversion to light to somehow make the legs move.
Huh.
It's some natural process in the fungus that they could hook up to making something drive.
You can actually send signals via mushroom. Yeah. And people have sent very long range signals through the mycelium network.
Discovery.
So now they're talking about using it like the closest thing there right now is using it for like environmental issues. Like if ground has too much lead, they can make it so that one of these fungus sensors just starts gyrating right when it finds poisons or heavy metals in the ground, things like that. You just stomp it in the ground, and then the mushroom will tell you about any toxins.
That's neat. I'm gonna put
it is neat.
I'm gonna put the link to the blue-green percentage in the channel so people can do it themselves. The stuff that. I like that. You also linked the Invisimouse die, and I didn't read that one either because it was just before we started.
So this is like some die. I guess they use at least I don't know if they still do, but at one point it's one of the yellow dyes they used in Doritos.
Oh,
and they found if they mix it with stuff, they could put it on a mouse, and it would make, I think, 3 millimeters of its tissues transparent, which is all of its skin. So they have a shot in there of the dye rubbed on a mouse belly, and you can see its intestines, a couple of its blood vessels. You can see its spleen, its liver. And they rubbed it on the head.
There.
Gross.
Yeah, there you go.
That's gross. How cool is that, though?
The red isn't blood. The red is the color of the dye after they mix the chemicals into it.
Oh,
neat.
Yeah. But as we're talking before the cast, if they make this available by Halloween, there's going to be some fantastic Halloween costumes.
Right? Yeah, you could go as body worlds. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slim good body.
Slim good body.
Yeah, and I know that Halloweens traditionally are a time for the ladies to dress slutty, but they could be transparent. Now we're not just seeing their skin. Now we can see their organs.
Isn't there anything sexier than true honesty of who you are?
Then sexy transparent frog. Sexiest outfit ever.
Do you want a fourscore with my kidney?
Sexy.
Oh,
sexy 1920s industrialist.
Sexy mustard.
Sexy mustard.
The sexiest. Yeah. Oh, sexy.
I'll put you on my hot dog.
Sexy Abraham Lincoln.
Sexy costume warehouse. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's a great one.
Girls Costume Warehouse. There you
go. And then the last one that we have on the list is Chris. You found this one recently. There are a class of inexpensive headphones that, while you technically plug them in, they are actually Bluetooth. And the cable is just cosmetic, which is wild.
No, I figure the cable is providing power, right? Because you can get power without signing Apple's agreement. But yeah, this is a great story. It's so funny,
right?
You know, like they're Bluetooth headphones, but you know,
kind of. Yeah, that story made the rounds a few months ago, and it's really funny. I love it. I have nothing else on the list as far as media goes.
Well, before we get to that, let's just give a shout out to that poor lady at Wells Fargo who clocked in on a Friday and no one found her for 4 days.
Yeah,
because she worked in a cubicle farm. I mean,
yeah, that's dark.
Yeah,
it is dark. Well, you said you learned more about her.
There was just a recent story more about who she was, and she was an older lady who, if I remember correctly, was like looking to transition to something different. Took this because it's hard to find a job when you're 60, and you're looking for something new. And so she got this gig, and it was in a part of the building that no one went into very often, and she was working long hours. But it's crazy that you could be dead in some place for 4 days before, like a business,
Well, I mean, is it that uncommon, really? I think people die at work all the time.
I think people die at work all the time. I don't think people stay dead in their office for 4 days.
I don't know. Maybe if she'd been locked in the vault, that would have been more cinematic, Right.
Or down in the server room or something, some place where people don't go, but she's just
at a desk.
Did they have no cleaning staff? Because usually the cleaning staffs will come in on the weekends.
Right.
I used to clean offices.
They dusted around.
You might remember the offices of International Auto Pen, which I would clean with my girlfriend's family back in my 20s.
And you never found a body.
And I found a lot of liquor bottles, but I didn't find a body. Yeah.
But no dead person, not even once.
Not
even once.
Not even someone who's really sick.
Or someone really famous who wanted their signature to be captured, but they didn't realize that they would capture their soul in those little cardboard discs.
That's a good twist.
Yeah, right. And then you've got the room of souls.
Yeah.
They're just people who are blank because their signature and thus their identity had been taken
and then when you
put into the cardboard discs.
When they complain, they point out that you signed the terms of service, which means
they
own your soul. Nothing you can do.
I mean,
you agreed to stream an episode of Boba Fett, so
now we own your immortal soul.
Yeah, it's just that's the price you pay if you want the book of Boba Fett.
That's right.
And Wells Fargo, wasn't Wells Fargo one of the ones who was opening up accounts in their customer's name?
Yeah,
probably.
And all the rest. I mean, I have to tell you, imagine if that's how they treat their customers. Imagine how they treat their workers. They're like, well, we need another 60-year-old sacrifice for the old gods.
Maybe that's it. It's a cabin in the woods situation. Wells Fargo.
That checks out.
Every year you have to sacrifice.
And it's Tempe, Arizona. That's not a place that you go to thrive.
Nope. No, that's not where you go to be happy.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, maybe Tempe's a lovely place. I'm
Media.
typing in Tempe, Arizona weather. It's 98 degrees there at 9 a.m. on a Friday.
Oh, and that's a hard
Which
watch.
makes it even weirder that they didn't find her for 4 days.
Oh,
I mean, because the air conditioning was probably set to like not as cold,
right?
You know?
Especially
like
on the weekends.
It's like preserving her, you know.
They're probably making it a little warmer on the weekends because not a lot of people are there.
Gross.
Yeah.
Have either of you seen the 1986 film Troll?
Yes.
Sure.
I'd never seen this. I've seen Troll 2,
Really?
but never
How
Troll 1.
How did you see Troll 2, but never Troll 1?
Well, I didn't.
There were so many unanswered questions. Actually, they have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Troll 2 only existed because Troll 1 made bank. But I'd never seen Troll 1, and it's got like Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Michael Moriarty in it. It's I'd never seen
Noah Hathaway. Wow.
Yeah. It's not a good movie, but there's lots of fun puppets and stuff, and it was the How Did This Get Made movie this week. So and then the other one,
and you get to visit the Fey realm in a apartment.
Yep.
You know, it's great.
Yeah, it's not a good movie. And then the other one that I watched, it's called Kalki 2898 AD. It's a
What's it called?
Kalki or Kaiki? Yeah, Kalki. It's Telugu. It's Indian. And
you keep saying words.
I know.
Yeah, I'm already out.
So you should
Macaulay Culkin.
You should just
was he born?
Don't
then?
watch it.
Yeah.
Don't watch it. But like get it, and like skip in 5 minutes, watch 30 seconds, skip 5 minutes. It's visually really cool. It's a sci-fi thing.
Kalki 2898 AD.
Yeah.
Okay.
With a K.
I found it.
It's like apparently this movie is very big in India.
Sure.
But it's visually really
physically
neat.
Large. Yeah.
It's visually really neat, but it made no sense to me. And the thing that I just kept thinking about was, you know how in every Marvel movie now, in the second act, like a character shows up and then the audience is like, yay, this character we've never heard of is in our movie now because you read the comic books and you know who this character is. I felt like that's what was happening through this whole movie because I didn't understand any of it. It's just like people are showing up and then they do the dramatic camera, like a dolly zoom or whatever. And the music is all like epic and amazing. And I was like, I don't know who this person is. Am I supposed to be excited? But I don't know. This is definitely not a movie that I would suggest watching, but it is neat to look at for a few minutes. Yeah. It's just like a big old sci-fi thing. It kind of looked to me like Jupiter Ascending or something like that, just in terms of like what they were going for in terms of look. I don't know.
Inspired by Hindu scripture.
Yeah.
It's the first installment in a planned Kalki cinematic universe.
And it so feels that's exactly what like, but I don't know like who the Hindu gods are and stuff. And it's like, well, so when like all these people are showing up, like I don't know what your deal is, but you know, like when a Marvel character shows up, like I know like Falcon's deal or whatever. Oh, there you go, Rob's. Oh yeah, for you, Rob's 78% for your blue green.
That's funny.
All right. Anyway, the other thing that I'm halfway through, which I'm not going to recommend, but is called Story of a Woman. It's a 1970 sort of romance film. But I'm only watching it because it's one of those John Williams movies that he did before Star Wars.
Sure.
And I've just been sort of watching random movies that John Williams did before he got famous. Yep, and it's got Robert Stack in it, which is so weird. Like he's just doing the voice, but he's like a diplomat. It's weird watching people who become famous later in their careers for something else to go back and see their early work and you're just like, oh no, you were an actor back then, not just like a host of dumb shows. Anybody got anything else they want to get off their chests before we say goodbye?
No.
All right then. Goodbye to Robert Roseboom.
Goodbye.
Goodbye to Chris DeBona.
See you.
That was episode 854 of Geeks in Space. I was Rob Vander Takamulda. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.